For the Inuit people, sleeping at negative 84 degrees isn't just possible, it's normal. So what are the sleep strategies that let them doze off? The first secret starts with clothing. Inuit traditional clothing isn't just effective, it's genius. The classic parka, known as an amauti, uses multiple layers of caribou fur, with the hollow hairs trapping warm air close to the body. One caribou hide can contain more than 700,000 hairs per square inch. That's like wearing the world's warmest, most exclusive sweater. These clothes work through a simple yet brilliant layering system. The inner layer, often made from caribou skin with the fur facing inward, wicks moisture away from the body. The middle layer provides insulation, while the outer layer blocks wind and snow. If you tried to buy this kind of 3-layer protection at a fancy outdoor store, you'd need to take out a small loan. Unlike our modern take-it-off-before-bed approach, Inuit people often sleep in their clothes. In temperatures where exposed skin can freeze in less than 60 seconds, removing layers isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Body fat also plays an important role in staying warm. Traditional Inuit diets are high in fat, supplying both energy and insulation. This extra layer of natural padding helps protect against the cold. In the Arctic, having some extra body fat isn't just okay, it's smart survival. Mother Nature's version of a built-in electric blanket. When it comes to heating the sleeping area, fire isn't always the best option. Open flames in enclosed spaces like igloos can be dangerous, consuming precious oxygen and creating moisture that later freezes. Instead, traditional stone lamps called quillik burn seal or whale oil, providing both light and gentle heat without the dangers of an open flame. Body heat is another crucial element. In traditional Inuit families, everyone would sleep close together, sharing body warmth. A family of 4 can raise the temperature inside a well-built igloo by as much as 40 degrees above the outside temperature just through body heat. That's enough to bring negative 84 degrees up to a still freezing but much more manageable negative 44 degrees. Preparation for sleep begins hours before actually lying down. Eating a high-fat meal before bed is essential. The digestion process generates heat from within. Traditional meals might include raw fish or meat, often frozen and eaten in thin slices. Your mom might have told you not to eat before bed, but in the Arctic, that midnight snack could save your life. Even the way clothes are stored matters. Inuit people would often sleep with tomorrow's clothes tucked between their body and their sleeping furs, warming them for the morning. Nothing ruins a day faster than putting on clothes that are cold enough to shatter. These physical preparations are essential for survival, but they're only part of the story. Keeping your body warm is crucial, but there's more to falling asleep in extreme cold than just layers and lamps. Your body might be wrapped in layers of caribou fur, but what about your mind? When the temperature drops to negative 84 degrees, your brain can become your worst enemy or your greatest ally. Most of us panic when the office thermostat is set below 70 degrees. Imagine your brain's reaction when it's cold enough to freeze antifreeze. In extreme cold, most people experience an immediate panic response. The heart races, breathing becomes shallow, and muscles tense up. This is your body's natural fight or flight response kicking in. It's like your brain is screaming, "We're all going to die," while dancing around waving its metaphorical arms. But this panic actually makes you colder by sending blood away from your extremities and causing you to breathe faster, losing precious body heat with each exhale. The Inuit have mastered a different approach. Through generations of living in the Arctic, they've developed mental techniques that keep panic at bay. Their first trick? Controlled breathing. By taking slow, deep breaths, they avoid the rapid breathing that comes with panic. Each slow exhale releases less heat, and the measured breathing helps calm the mind. When you're trying this at home and your partner asks why you're breathing like you're in a yoga class while getting ready for bed, just tell them you're practicing ancient Arctic survival techniques. Studies have shown that controlled breathing can lower heart rate by up to 20 beats per minute in stressful situations. For the Inuit preparing to sleep in extreme cold, this means less heat wasted through rapid heartbeats and more warmth preserved for the long night ahead. Focus plays a crucial role too. Inuit hunters and travelers often practice a mental technique where they concentrate on generating heat in specific parts of their bodies. Brain scans have revealed that people who practice this kind of focused attention can actually increase blood flow to targeted body areas by up to 15%. It's like having an internal thermostat that you can adjust with your thoughts. No smart home system required. The Inuit approach to cold includes accepting rather than fighting it. Many describe a mental shift that happens after years in the Arctic. Instead of experiencing cold as pain, they experience it simply as a sensation. This psychological reframing helps prevent the stress response that makes cold feel worse than it actually is. This mind over matter approach isn't just folklore. Researchers have documented that experienced Inuit people shiver less than newcomers to the Arctic at the same temperatures. Shivering, while helpful for generating heat, burns valuable energy and can disrupt sleep. By training their bodies to respond differently to cold, the Inuit conserve energy when it matters most. Another key mental technique involves what modern psychologists might call positive visualization. Before sleep, many Inuit focus their thoughts on warmth and comfort rather than the deadly cold outside. They might recall memories of summer days or imagine the heat from a seal oil lamp spreading throughout their bodies. This mental practice helps trigger the relaxation necessary for sleep. The brain also adapts to regular cold exposure. People who live in extremely cold environments for extended periods develop changes in their nervous systems. Their blood vessels don't constrict as severely in response to cold, allowing more warm blood to reach the extremities. Your toes might still feel like popsicles on your first Arctic night, but give it a few years and they'll merely feel like slightly chilled carrot sticks. It's the world's most uncomfortable 5-year plan. Cold adaptation even extends to sleep itself. The brain waves of Arctic dwellers show different patterns during sleep in cold environments compared to people from warmer climates. They tend to fall asleep faster and reach deeper sleep stages more quickly, allowing them to get restorative rest even in challenging conditions. Perhaps most impressively, many Inuit elders report developing an intuitive sense of when cold becomes truly dangerous versus merely uncomfortable. This sixth sense helps them know when to seek additional warmth and when they can safely rest despite the biting chill. It's like having a built-in weather app, except it actually works and doesn't drain your battery. But even with a calm mind and a warm body, you still need somewhere to actually lie down. When most people hear igloo, they picture a basic dome of ice blocks where people somehow survive despite being surrounded by frozen water. It's like assuming a 5-star hotel is just a pile of bricks with a door. The reality of an igloo is far more impressive. It's actually one of the most cleverly designed shelters humans have ever created. Let's start with the building material itself. Snow might seem like a terrible insulator since it's, well, frozen water, but freshly fallen snow contains up to 95% trapped air, and air is an excellent insulator. When properly packed, snow creates an insulating layer that traps heat while blocking wind. A well-built igloo can be as much as 40 degrees Fahrenheit warmer inside than the outside temperature without any heating source at all. The dome shape isn't just for looks, it's engineering brilliance. The curved walls minimize the surface area exposed to the cold while maximizing interior space. This design also creates natural air circulation that helps maintain temperature without letting in the bitter cold. When warm air rises inside the igloo, it cools along the walls without creating drafts, keeping the heat flow smooth and comfortable. The entrance to a traditional igloo is another stroke of genius. It's not just a hole in the wall, it's a tunnel that dips below the level of the sleeping platform inside. This design takes advantage of a simple rule of physics. Cold air sinks. The cold air gets trapped in this entrance tunnel, creating a barrier between the frigid outside and the warmer interior. It's nature's version of those plastic strip curtains you see in restaurant freezers, except it actually works in negative 80-degree weather. Inside the igloo, the sleeping area is raised significantly above the entrance level. Since warm air rises, this elevated platform becomes the warmest spot in the shelter. The temperature difference between the entrance tunnel and the sleeping platform can be as much as 20 degrees. Some traditional igloos have multiple levels, with the highest reserved for sleeping. The interior walls of an igloo play an important role too. As body heat warms the inside, a thin layer of snow on the inner surface melts slightly and then refreezes, creating a layer of ice that further seals and strengthens the structure. This ice layer actually makes the igloo stronger over time. The longer it's inhabited, the more solid it becomes. Snow has another surprising quality. It blocks wind but allows some air exchange. This means carbon dioxide can escape, and fresh oxygen can enter without letting all the heat out. Modern houses need complex ventilation systems to achieve what an igloo does naturally. The slight porosity of packed snow creates the perfect balance of air exchange without creating drafts or losing too much heat. Traditional sleeping platforms inside igloos aren't the cold, hard ice slabs you might imagine. They're typically covered with layers of insulating materials. First, caribou skins with the fur facing down, creating air pockets for insulation. Then, additional furs for comfort with the hair facing up. A family of 4 sleeping on such a platform can raise the interior temperature just through body heat to a relatively comfortable 25 degrees Fahrenheit, which feels downright balmy when the alternative is negative 84 outside. Light comes from stone lamps called quillic that burn seal or whale oil. These aren't just for illumination. They add heat without producing much smoke or using up too much oxygen. The lamps are designed with a specific slope that controls the oil flow to the moss wick, providing steady, efficient burning. In a world before LED light bulbs and smart thermostats, the Inuit had created their own version of both, with the added bonus of never needing batteries or Wi-Fi updates. The size of a traditional igloo varies, but many are about 10 feet high at the center and 12 feet in diameter, providing about 100 square feet of usable space. That's small by modern standards, but perfectly sized to retain body heat efficiently. Some larger ceremonial igloos could house up to 20 people and span 20 feet across, while emergency shelters for 1 or 2 people could be built in under an hour. But the Inuit don't always have the luxury of a perfectly constructed snow dome. Sometimes the conditions are far more challenging, forcing them to rely on other survival skills when the comfort of an igloo is nowhere to be found. Hunters tracking animals, travelers caught in sudden storms, or people moving between seasonal camps often face the challenge of resting in the open tundra, where temperatures can plummet to negative 84 degrees Fahrenheit. This is what camping enthusiasts would call a bit chilly, right before they rush back to their heated RVs. In these extreme situations, the Inuit turn to emergency shelters that can be created quickly. Snow caves rank among the most effective options. Unlike igloos, which require carefully cut blocks, a snow cave can be dug into any suitable snowdrift in about 30 minutes. The process begins by finding a deep drift, ideally on the lee side of a hill where wind has packed the snow firmly. The entrance tunnel follows the same principle as an igloo's. It points downward, creating a cold sink that prevents warm air from escaping. Inside, a sleeping platform gets carved at a higher level than the entrance. A small breathing hole poked through the roof completes this emergency shelter. A well-made snow cave can be up to 50 degrees warmer than outside temperatures. Think of it as the world's coldest studio apartment. No monthly rent, but the commute is terrible, and the neighbors are mostly Arctic foxes who never bring anything to the potluck. When even a snow cave isn't possible due to travel conditions or inadequate snow, the Inuit resort to more immediate options. One technique involves creating a simple windbreak by piling snow into a half-circle wall. This humble barrier can reduce wind chill factor by up to 25 degrees. Wind, after all, is often more dangerous than cold alone. Still air allows the body to maintain a thin layer of warmth around itself, but even a slight breeze strips this away. A person wearing adequate clothing in negative 40 degrees with no wind will lose heat much more slowly than someone in negative 20 degrees facing a 15 mesh wind. Sleep positions become critically important when outside. The Inuit typically curl into a tight ball, minimizing exposed surface area. They avoid sleeping directly on ice or frozen ground, which conducts body heat away hundreds of times faster than air. It's like trying to stay warm while hugging a refrigerator. Technically possible, but definitely not recommended for a good night's sleep. Instead, they create layers of insulation. First caribou hide with the fur down, then a sleeping mat of woven grass or moss, then more furs on top. Breathing techniques take on new importance outside. The Inuit practice breathing into their fur ruffs, the circular fur collars that surround their faces on traditional parkas. This traps warm breath near the face, preventing frostbite on delicate facial tissues. It's like having a built-in face mask that never fogs up your glasses. Another survival technique involves strategic placement of hands and feet. Fingers and toes are especially vulnerable to frostbite as they're furthest from the body's core heat. When sleeping outside, the Inuit tuck their hands into their armpits and curl their feet toward their center mass. If traveling with others, they often sleep back to back, sharing vital body heat. Emergency shelters sometimes incorporate natural formations. Rock crevices can block wind and retain body heat better than open spaces. Snow itself becomes a blanket. A light covering of fresh snow over the body provides insulation without being heavy enough to restrict movement or breathing. This technique can raise the microclimate around a sleeper by up to 15 degrees. It's the only situation where I'd like to be buried in snow is actually a reasonable bedtime request. The concept of sleep itself changes during extreme conditions. Rather than 8 continuous hours, the Inuit often adopt a pattern of shorter rest periods interspersed with movement. This approach, sometimes called Arctic napping, prevents the body from cooling too much during any single period of inactivity. Sleep cycles might last just 90 minutes to 2 hours before the person briefly moves around to generate new heat before resting again. One of the most impressive techniques involves using caribou hides. The hollow hairs in caribou fur create millions of tiny air pockets, providing exceptional insulation. A single adult caribou hide contains approximately 350,000 hollow hairs per square inch. When arranged properly with the fur facing the body, these hides can maintain a sleeping temperature differential of up to 60 degrees between the sleeper and the outside air. Mother Nature created memory foam long before humans thought of it, and hers doesn't lose its shape after a few years. Snow itself provides crucial information about safe places to rest. Different types of snow create different sleeping conditions. Powder snow makes poor shelters, but excellent insulation when packed around a sleeper. Wind-packed snow creates better structural strength for caves and windbreaks, but provides less insulation. The Inuit can identify dozens of snow types, each with specific properties and uses for emergency shelter. Through these ingenious techniques, the Inuit survive conditions that would quickly become lethal to the unprepared. But there's another crucial element to sleeping in extreme cold. Food isn't just fuel for activity. In the Arctic, it's your internal furnace. The Inuit approach to eating before sleep is completely different from what most of us practice. While modern health advice often suggests avoiding heavy meals before bed, in temperatures of negative 84 degrees, that midnight snack could save your life. In the Arctic, eating light isn't a diet choice. It's a potentially fatal error in judgment. The traditional Inuit diet is rich in fat, extremely rich. Up to 75% of their caloric intake comes from fat, primarily from marine mammals like seals and whales. This isn't just a preference, it's survival mathematics. Fat provides 9 calories per gram, while protein and carbohydrates provide only 4. When every calorie matters, fat is the clear winner. What nutritionists might call heart attack on a plate in Los Angeles is called not freezing to death tonight in the Arctic. Before sleeping in extreme cold, the Inuit deliberately consume high-fat foods. Muktuk, the skin and blubber of whales, is particularly prized. A 4-ounce portion of muktuk can provide up to 500 calories, mostly from fat. Your mom might have told you not to eat before bed, but in the Arctic, that's like telling someone not to wear a coat in a blizzard. The digestion of fat generates more heat than processing other nutrients. This phenomenon, called diet-induced thermogenesis, creates a warming effect that lasts for hours. Studies have shown that high-fat meals can increase metabolism by up to 30% for several hours after eating, creating a sustained internal heat source. It's like having a tiny furnace in your stomach that burns all night. Raw meat plays a crucial role too, though not in the way many people assume. While some Inuit foods are eaten raw, it's not because they can't be cooked. Raw meat, especially when frozen, requires the body to warm it to body temperature during digestion. This process draws on internal energy reserves, generating additional heat from within. It's basically borrowing your body's heating system to thaw your dinner, but the loan gets paid back with interest in the form of extra warmth. Perhaps the most famous example is akutak, sometimes called Eskimo ice cream. Traditional akutak combines animal fat, usually caribou, moose, or seal, with berries and occasionally snow. Despite the ice cream nickname, this isn't a dessert. It's serious survival food, providing slow-burning energy that keeps you warm throughout the night. Talk about a midnight snack with purpose. This ice cream doesn't give you a sugar rush. It keeps your blood from becoming an actual slushie. Protein timing also matters. The Inuit often consume protein-rich foods several hours before higher-fat options. This strategy takes advantage of protein's different metabolic timeline. Protein digestion peaks at around 3 to 4 hours after consumption, while fat metabolism continues for much longer. By staggering these nutrients, they create overlapping waves of internal heat production. Hydration before sleep requires a delicate balance. Drinking too much means potentially needing to leave the warmth of your sleeping area during the night. A dangerous proposition when temperatures drop below -60 degrees. Drinking too little leads to dehydration, which reduces the body's ability to regulate temperature. The solution? Many Inuit consume slightly fatty broths that provide both hydration and calories in one efficient package. Getting up to use the bathroom at night is inconvenient in your heated home, but in the Arctic, it's the world's most dangerous bathroom trip. Talk about motivation for bladder control. The timing of meals matters just as much as content. Eating approximately 2 hours before sleep gives the digestive system time to ramp up heat production just as the body is settling in for the night. This clever timing turns digestion into a natural hot water bottle that works from the inside out. Special foods are reserved for particularly cold nights. Seal blubber, with its high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids, isn't just calorie-dense. It also improves circulation to extremities, helping prevent frostbite during sleep. 2 ounces of raw seal blubber contains approximately 400 calories and enough fat-soluble vitamins to meet several days' requirements. These nutritional strategies complete the remarkable system of Arctic sleep. The Inuit approach combines layered clothing, well-designed shelters, mental techniques, strategic positioning, and carefully chosen foods, all working together to make the impossible possible. What outsiders see as miraculous, falling asleep quickly at -84 degrees, is simply the result of thousands of years of ingenious adaptation. The next time you complain about your chilly bedroom, remember there are people who would find it tropical. Your pre-bedtime diet might help your waistline, but in the Arctic, that fatty midnight snack might just save your life.